West Ham are going to kick off. Michael Salisbury, the referee, blows us underway here on BBC Radio Newcastle and the Newcastle United website and app. The Magpies shooting towards the goal to the left-hand side. And they get the ball back through Isak. A header from West Ham. Todibo has sent Isak into the final third with the ball up the left-hand side, but a good recovery by West Ham after the initial mistake. And Wan-Bissaka does well to get away. That almost had Newcastle into a great position. Isak just couldn't continue, got outnumbered as he reached the final third. And West Ham go long as they try to respond. And Kudus here cuts inside away from Cher, then goes back on the outside, delivers a dangerous ball. Souček over the bar. 45 seconds on the clock. Mohamed Kudus causing Fabian Cher big problems. Great ball in. And Thomas Souček coming in at the right side of the penalty area has blazed the ball over the top from the centre of the box. It's a massive chance early on.
Huge chance. I mean, the ball's played in. Livramento totally fresh airs it, totally misses it. Comes to Souček leaning backwards with his left foot. He skies it right over the top from 6 yards. But that's a huge let off.
Pope with a big goal kick long towards halfway. West Ham head forwards. Cher heads it out to the right to Trippier, and it is Trippier right and Livramento left. Tonali in the middle gets it back from Trippier, takes it up the line. West Ham slide in to halt his progress. Then Jacob Murphy is alive to the situation, plays it back. Bruno through the centre to Livramento. Barnes makes a move in off the left flank. Livramento carries on into the space vacated by Barnes. Back to Bruno. Now Harvey Barnes up the line to Livramento. Inside to Barnes again, and Dan Burn just in front of halfway to Cher in the centre circle. Takes the touch, pushes it across to the far side. Trippier goes forwards to Murphy. Nice ball from Murphy round the corner. Joelinton, space for the Brazilian, right side of the attack. Tonali into the middle. It's overhit. Not the right angle either for Bruno's run from central midfield, but nicely worked up until the final ball.
Yeah, final ball was poor. Just got his angles all wrong. But it was, kept the ball well, worked it from right to left.
0-0, third minute. Kudus has switched the play. Murphy got a touch on it. Trippier then intercepts and then tries to get away again. But a strong sliding challenge. That is great defending.
Great tackle. He needed
Maximilian Kilman.
Yeah, that needed to be spot on.
As Murphy who deflected the crossfield ball. Trippier then went into a 50-50, won it. His touch was heavy, but Kilman slid in and got the tackle absolutely right.
Yeah, he did. Got it spot on, and he needed it because he mistimes that, and all of a sudden he's in big trouble.
Newcastle back to Pope. Here's Byrne. Livramento got a bit of space near side, back to the big man, and now Pope left-footed up towards midfield. Joelinton battling for it. Barnes with a header inside, trying to chase his own touch. Wan-Bissaka gets a boot to the ball, drops in the centre circle for Edson Alvarez, up to Mohamed Kudus, intercepted by Cher. Joelinton helps it forwards. James Ward-Prowse gets West Ham in possession. Wan-Bissaka tackled by Joelinton. Referee says that's a foul. But fortunately,
if not the first one, the second one.
Fortunately, neither worthy of a yellow card. Kilman to Ward-Prowse. Now Cresswell chipped forwards to the left side of the attack to Kudus. Ghanaian international. He is lively and tricky. Could be a problem for Newcastle. Wan-Bissaka onto Bowen, away from Joelinton. Jared Bowen, chance to cross from the right. Oh, another clearance that they couldn't complete. Dan Burn seemed to slice that one, and it hit a West Ham shirt and went over the bar.
Yeah, good run by Bowen down this right side. Just gives Joelinton the slip, gets away from him. Ball's played in. again, it ricochets all over the place, doesn't it? I think it comes off Dan Burns' knee.
Well, two crosses, one from the left, one from the right. Newcastle have had an issue. They've been in a spot of bother, but they go forwards now through Pope's long kick. Barnes does well in the centre, combining with Murphy. Trippier wide right. Barnes looked to take it on the turn, just in front of the penalty area, but it's intercepted. Long clearance from West Ham. Livramento heads down. Bowen gets to the loose ball, and Wan-Bissaka on halfway up to Bowen, out off Livramento. Throw on the near side for West Ham, 0-0 in the 6th minute.
Yeah, it's been stretched, hasn't it? But when West Ham get the ball in those wide areas, they've caused us one or two problems, haven't they?
There's no atmosphere, is there?
No.
You can hear the Newcastle fans at the moment, but home supporters, this just must be so difficult for them to generate an atmosphere. And one thing Upton Park had, their former home, was a noisy atmosphere. Ward-Prowse under pressure from Tonali, edge of the West Ham box. Kilman left-footed, long into space for Alvarez.
Well taken.
Taken down on the chest by the Mexican midfielder. Then out wide left, Cresswell. That's dealt with by Newcastle this time. Shares header, then Byrne with another header away. Murphy hesitated. Ward-Prowse back out to Cresswell. Share with a volleyed clearance. Only Isak up ahead of the ball. And it stays in the possession of West Ham. Wan-Bissaka on the right, out to Bowen. It's about 15 yards from the goal. Joelinton forcing him inside, dropped off with Ward-Prowse. Up the line to Wan-Bissaka, tries to run Livramento. Held up by the Newcastle fullback. Joelinton pinches it now. Bruno onto Isak. Good first touch, but Kilman was tight to him, made the block as Isak tried to play it to the left.
Yeah, I mean, he's come really deep, hasn't he? He's 15-20 yards inside our own half when he picks that up. Kilman yet again close, good block.
Ball with Newcastle, they got a throw from that Isak pass that was deflected, blocked by Kilman, and they've gone back to the goalkeeper. Now Byrne to Livramento. Just gives it back to Byrne, and now it's chipped up the left wing. Barnes can't get there. Wan-Bissaka rises.
Yeah, well, not the greatest header, is it? It's just puts it straight out of play
on this near side, 25 to 30 yards from goal. Joelinton for Tonali and Trippier. There's the space, far side. Murphy back pedaling out to the touchline, gets it from Trippier, drifts in. You keep going, Murphy. Gives it to Tonali, more space out on the right. Bruno involved here, 30 yards out, angled ball into the box, then a cross. It was whipped across goal from Murphy, but it was too high, and it's going to be a goal kick for West Ham.
Yeah, it was a little bit heavy, the ball played into him. Decent little run in behind, but he's always stretching, isn't he? Just can't wrap his foot around it.
Seemed to hold his line well, Murphy. 9 minutes at London Stadium. Now the goalkeeper required yet in terms of saving a shot. West Ham with a couple of dangerous moments, but yet to really get going. Areola, long diagonal ball up the pitch. Newcastle header backwards. Share thumps it forwards. Isak trying to win it. Ward-Prowse has got it, and again in midfield. Cresswell forwards. Kudus sticks out a leg, diverts the ball straight to Share. Barnes takes it away from a couple of West Ham players, then helps it out to Murphy. Now towards Isak. Wide on the right, heading for the corner. Isak getting into a good position again. United, the ball into the middle. Just evades the white and green shirts in there, and West Ham clear it towards halfway. Now that was promising, but the cross was too far ahead of the Newcastle attackers in the middle. BBC Radio Newcastle, 0-0. Trippier tries to chip it in behind Scarles, the teenager. and he stands his ground, heads it out. Murphy was next to him. Jacob Murphy picks up the ball and decides to transfer throw-in duties to Kieran Trippier. Share back up the line next to halfway. Bruno's much closer, gets it short from Trippier. Then again, Bruno back towards the centre circle, has to give it to Dan Burn. No opportunity to go forwards. Burn does go forwards with the pass to Joelinton, into Bruno in a bit of a tight spot, back to Burn. Left-footed pass across from left to right to Share. They're at 10-15 yards from halfway, back to Burn. Livramento gives him an angle, gets it, Barnes up the line, drops in. Short pass from Livramento.
Yeah, sold him short, didn't he?
It's Newcastle throw there.
Yeah. Bissaka just read the early ball, didn't he? Just nipped in, knocked it out, another throw in. Just on halfway.
Livramento plays it back off Bowen, chases the ball, curls over.
Plenty of room on that right hand side, isn't there? Trippier getting plenty of the ball, plenty of space for him to go and play in as well.
Tries to bend a pass into the penalty area for the run of Murphy, who bent his run in from the right wing, but Areola has it. Kilman back to the goalkeeper, still in the penalty area, along the goal line to Todibo. That nearly went out. Wan-Bissaka in the corner, blocked by Livramento. West Ham get a throw.
Dangerous game to play. Got away with it on this occasion.
Wan-Bissaka back to Todibo, charged down by Isak, who appeals for the throw. Hasn't been a regular in the team, Jean-Claire Todibo, since coming in on loan from Nice. Big reputation in French football. He's an international. Throw taken by West Ham, then back to the edge of the penalty area. Cresswell goes out wide to Scarles. Ward-Prowse to the youngster, and Kudus. Souček. West Ham with possession. Still edge of their penalty area now. Todibo to Areola. Clipped into the middle. Souček tries to head it on. Joelinton, adjudged to have
rugby tackled him.
Impeded him near to halfway. Just knocked him off balance, it seems. Into the box from the Hammers, and header back to Pope by Dan Burn. There's not a lot of intensity in the play.
It's been flat, hasn't it? Yeah.
It's flat on the pitch, it's flat in the stands, isn't it? 62,000 this holds for football. Kilman on his chest, given away to Murphy, but Murphy can't find a teammate. Wan-Bissaka to Todibo, goalkeeper's available. Ward-Prowse gets it forwards, then back to Wan-Bissaka, whipped up the line, Bowen on his thigh, Burn with him. Jared Bowen takes it back and sprints away from Burn. Kudus then takes it off the toes of Bowen, passes it back to Cresswell, receives it again, wide left to Scarles. West Ham passing it nicely, but now back in their own half of the pitch. No goals yet. Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall together go to the edge of the technical area, which is a long way from the bench. And then the ball from the goalkeeper for West Ham onto the head of Joelinton in midfield, forwards to Barnes. Now Isak just inside the 18-yard box. Isak running along the edge of the penalty area. Tonali's got it now. Barnes on this left-hand side, tries to cross, blocked by Ward-Prowse. Livramento with it. Back to Barnes, 20 yards from the goal. Newcastle keeping West Ham penned in. Livramento, not the best ball towards Barnes, but they get it back, United. 1-2 between Livramento and Murphy, cleared. And whatever advantage they had from the initial West Ham mistake has now gone, and it's with Trippier on halfway, and home side push up and keep a higher defensive line.
They haven't really pushed up with a great deal of intent, though, have they? You know, giving us plenty of time on the ball.
Good ball inside Livramento. Joelinton Oh, deflected away just as it was about to reach Bruno, and Isak chasing it down, can't get there. Areola picks it up.
Yeah, it's been sloppy, hasn't it, from both sides? As you say, no real intent.
West Ham free kick, foul on Kudus. Bowen is always an outlet for them. He's on the right. Kudus playing most of his football towards the left of the attack, certainly trying to give them something. The free kick is one that they might well try to aim towards Maximilian Kilman or Jean-Claire Todibo. Two big centre-halves go forward. Thomas Souček is up there as well. And Newcastle drop as West Ham angle it out to this near side. Header won by Joelinton. Barnes with a header towards the touchline, kept in by Livramento. Inside for Joelinton, who does well to get away and find Tonali. He looks for space, always has his head up and the vision to play the pass back to Cher, and more room for Trippier on the right hand side, as you'd already highlighted, Ando. Inside to Bruno, gets it back again, Kieran Trippier. Murphy going towards halfway though. They're keeping possession, Newcastle, 0-0. Just not able to go anywhere with it apart from backwards. Now they go forwards again. Livramento on the halfway line into Tonali, centre of midfield, but deep. Cher up to the feet of Isak, intercepted by Ward-Prowse, who read what Newcastle were trying to do. Up the line it goes. Cher back to Pope, edge of the penalty box. Tonali comes to receive it off the goalkeeper.
Plenty of time.
Turns and faces
Plenty
forward.
of time again.
Bruno, then Trippier, dropping into that half space. Now on to Murphy, inside to Bruno. They're moving it quickly. This is good. Livramento, Barnes on the outside. In the final third, on the left, Newcastle. Barnes up to Livramento again. And it comes into Bruno, having a think about what to do, puts his foot on it, looks to come back to the left, runs into the box, slips it through. Harvey Barnes misses the target at the near side, but it
Good
was
little ball, wasn't it?
probably
They stood
not the
off
ball West Ham expected.
Yeah, just stood off. Guimaraes, he's just threaded one down the side. Can't give him that time. Just couldn't wrap his foot round it, could he? Angle was always tight, to be fair.
A scooped finish from Barnes. Was attempting to squeeze it in between the goalkeeper and the near post, but that wasn't possible because of the angle. Good movement though. We've got two right-footed players, haven't they, on the left? Livramento and Barnes. You see Gordon's right-footed, but Hall gives them the natural left-sided option in that position. Isak, it's great movement and skill. Plays it to Murphy. Bruno with a ball up towards Murphy. It hit Isak on its way to Murphy, and West Ham have it on the left side of defence. Cresswell to Scarles, Alvarez back to Souček. Chip forwards but out. Eddie Howe folded arms. Pitch side, Graham Potter walking around the technical area, looking on as the ball goes back to Fabian Cher. They'd had a difficult first half of the season, West Ham, under Julian Lopetegui, before Graham Potter came in. And they've moved now 16 points clear of relegation here in Newcastle, attacking up the left. Isak into the penalty box, but back to goal, plays it back to Livramento. Bruno finds Livramento in space in the area, and the ball lifted over to Trippier, might hit this. It's helped towards goal and then saved by Areola low down. Barnes had the effort. Newcastle still in the box with Tonali, and he goes into the corner and then back to Trippier. First effort on target in the game. Bruno, 0-0. Nice combination, edge of the box. Bruno into the area. Isak, and Bruno goes down under a challenge. Referee says no.
Nobody's appealed.
Just Bruno, who runs towards the referee, Michael Salisbury. Isak took a touch in the box. Bruno then took it on, tried to go between two West Ham players.
You're never getting a penalty for that.
We play on. West Ham 0, Newcastle 0.
Never a penalty. Better though.
It's been a bit sluggish, but Newcastle finding a bit of energy there in their attacking play. Decent movement, good passing. Pope's got it now from Byrne, and Cher close down by Kudus, has to go long. Murphy looking to run in behind, but Kilman is across to head it away. Trippier, no foul given. West Ham player down, and still down. Alvarez slowly picks himself back up. Ward-Prowse to Kilman in the centre of the West Ham back three. Areola, Isak will apply the pressure, and then the goalkeeper lifts it away. Byrne is there, nodded down to Livramento. Some home fans getting a little bit frustrated. Newcastle find Joelinton. Bruno away from the challenge of Scarles, but it was also away from Trippier, and out it goes. Barnes had the effort in that attack. It was Livramento lifted across to Trippier. I think he
good
tried
save actually
to cross rather than shoot, and Barnes with a little flick towards goal. Areola down low to make a one-handed save.
Yeah, good save. He's reacted well to it. Good touch by Barnes. I mean, it's driven across goal by Trippier. He's just got something on it. It's a good stop.
BBC Radio Newcastle. With United drawing 0-0. 22 on the clock. Areola. It's clipped up to halfway rather than driven. Byrne with the header, but it's a West Ham player. Wan-Bissaka first to it. All alone, now in the final third. Thought about crossing. Step over, tries to go on the outside. Livramento pinches the ball back, and away go Newcastle. Joelinton in the centre. Livramento still going. It's good feet. Oh, and then he stumbled. Livramento stumbled near the centre circle, and West Ham with Bowen in the box. Jared Bowen straight at Pope. He spilled it and then gathered it at the feet of Kudus. That was very nearly a horrible moment for Nick Pope. Recalled to the starting 11 tonight, but he just got away with it.
Yeah, I mean, Bowen drifts in. It's not the greatest shot in the world, is it? There's no great power in it. Got away with it, Nick Pope.
And Livramento did well to win it, made good progress, and then slipped. And West Ham tried to exploit that mistake and use the space in behind. Trippier, Isak, oh what a take, then goes outside. Murphy, back to Trippier, ball stayed in play, despite West Ham appeals that it had gone out. Had a couple of moments like that, Isak, where he's taken a ball that's driven into him, taken it so well, dropped his shoulder and moved it on quickly. Tonali, driving run from midfield. Livramento, left side of the box, corner kick, out of Thomas Souček, near side.
So much space in the middle of the park, because West Ham just aren't getting close.
It was good from Tonali, wasn't it? Positive.
Got to be, yeah. I mean, he picks it up. There's space there, there's green grass in front of you, just drive into it.
No real hurry for the corner. 25th minute. Everybody back for West Ham. And Trippier for Newcastle United, left side. The goal to the left as we look at the action. Trippier clipped towards the back of the 6-yard box, headed back over, and a good save again from Areola, low down left hand side. Dan Byrne back across, and Harvey Barnes with his second effort, but Areola makes another important save.
Yeah, he just gets up, but great header back across goal by Bourne, and he reacts really well. Barnes gets a good header on it. Good save again by the keeper.
He's always a goal threat, Harvey Barnes. That's one of the things he brings to the team, and we are seeing that tonight. but it remains goalless. Newcastle quick corner on the far side. West Ham closed down. United can't get it into the box. They almost lost possession, but instead it's a throw which has been taken quickly. Murphy back to Trippier, wide on the right. Tonali here from deep, sends it in. Cher left side of the box, volleyed cross, blocked by Souček in the middle. Cher, another volleyed pass to Isak, tries to get it back from Joelinton, who makes a block challenge. West Ham, strong play by Joelinton. Cher is in, left side, can he pick somebody out? No, held on low down, just in front of the goal line by Areola.
No urgency about West Ham whatsoever. They're just giving us so much space.
Great battling play by Joelinton on the left in what looked like a situation that was going to go West Ham's way. They had 2-on-1 and he made sure he came away with the ball, got Cher in left side, and just nobody near post or centre to apply a touch. 0-0, Kudus on his chest, back toward Prowse. And Todibo on the edge of the penalty box, just sure which way to go, has to give it to the goalkeeper, and that's a sliced clearance into midfield. Push by Kudus on Joelinton, spotted by referee Michael Salisbury.
Yeah, West Ham, just as I say, no urgency about them, no intensity about what they're doing. Big opportunity here for us.
Yeah, they've got better, haven't they? Particularly over the last 10 minutes, Newcastle, and looking far more likely than West Ham to score.
Definitely, yeah.
Trippier, white and green shirts go forwards. It's left-hand side, quite close to the centre circle. Driven to the right side of the box. A header goes up from Newcastle player, volleyed away by West Ham. Livramento back to Trippier near the centre spot. Tonali to the right, goalkeeper behind him, and it's Nick Pope who gets it. Livramento receives it, has to go back to the goalkeeper, and Pope sliced the clearance. Going to be a West Ham throw, 30 yards out. Pope apologises, but they didn't look comfortable playing it back and then playing it out and back again.
It's not a strength, is it?
Wan-Bissaka drops it at the feet of Todibo. They beat Leicester in their last home match, West Ham, but 3 defeats out of 5 at the London Stadium in the Premier League. So not a great recent record here, and even though they beat Leicester, apparently they didn't play that well, and if what we're seeing tonight is evidence of how they're playing, you can understand why there would be some frustration at West Ham. Newcastle definitely better at the moment, but it's still not a great game. Barnes with 2 efforts saved by Areola. Isak trying to get in behind Kilman, defended it well. The 6'4" centre back now wanting to be a midfielder. Protects the ball well and passes it back to Todibo. Alvarez up to Souček. Wan-Bissaka's just kept it in with a header on the line. Ward-Prowse forwards. Referee was going to blow, and then does, because there's no advantage to West Ham. Bruno with a trip on Mohamed Kudus in the middle of the pitch. 0-0. Wan-Bissaka, sharp, takes it inside away from Livramento, just ahead of halfway. Byrne misses it, and Kudus has got it, edge of the area. Nick Pope palms it down and then gathers, comfortable save.
Yeah, straight at him, wasn't it? Straight at it. Real comfortable save in the end.
BBC Radio Newcastle. Live at
Chili
Stadium.
Hope, a new musical set to get its world premiere right here in the Northeast. Now it's called Weird.
told entirely through pop songs, entirely through song, and make it accessible. So the idea is that by the time you leave that theatre, you come away, you absolutely know the story, you understand the characters, and for the kids that come, they should be able to take that into their school year.
Yep. Well, we're back with you from the London Stadium. We had a brief technical fault, but no action was missed, although Isak made a good run up the right and sent it across to Barnes in the middle, but West Ham made a challenge. Newcastle would have been hoping to make more of that, but it remains 0-0, 31 minutes on the clock. Isak, we've seen him left, we've seen him right, seen him in the centre. Harvey Barnes has had Newcastle's 2 efforts. West Ham, the goalkeeper, making a couple of important saves. It's a big pitch, John Anderson, at the London Stadium, but yeah, it just hasn't been, as Isak comes back and he's not offside. West Ham clear the ball, hold that thought. Newcastle attacking. Bruno, Tonali in the penalty area. Now it's scrambled back
so
to the
sloppy,
goalkeeper.
isn't it?
I'm going to say it's sloppy, it's sluggish, it's slow. It's not necessarily a strenuous workout in the week before Wembley, which probably suits them.
Oh dear, there we go again.
And Kuda's given away straight to Trippier, Murphy to Bruno, back to Joelinton, almost filling in as a centre-back, given his position. Whoever picked this match for live television coverage on Monday night might well want to think again, or think closely, think properly about their choices next time. And Byrne to Livramento. Barnes holds off Wan-Bissaka, goes back outside, then inside, looks to chip Isak in, away behind West Ham with a header. Then Newcastle block challenge won by Tonali, and he gets away from 2 sliding challenges. Brilliant from the Italian. Then his through ball towards Barnes, deflects off a West Ham shirt, and Wan-Bissaka's got it. He did so well initially, Tonali. Then West Ham scoop it forwards, and it's onto the thigh of Fabian Schär. Forwards to Bruno. Short ball 5 yards to the right to Trippier. Murphy trying to give Newcastle width. Trippier carries it out to the right wing and then finds Murphy. Brought inside to Bruno, 30 yards from the goal. Bruno for Livramento. Barnes left corner of the box, into the area now. Harvey Barnes. Went on the outside to Livramento and overhit the pass.
Sums the game up, doesn't it? It's not on the same wavelength, are we?
It's just no...
Tonali's gone down.
No rhythm, is there? Oh, well, this is a problem. Sandro Tonali sitting down, middle of the pitch. Newcastle medical team are called for. The physio comes sprinting on. There's 4 players standing next to Tonali, and he's holding his right knee. I didn't see what happened, although he was...
There was a block tackle, wasn't there? Yeah. There was a tackle with Ward-Prowse. It was a 50-50. I mean, it was just a block challenge.
Looks like they've bashed knees.
Yeah.
He kept on moving in that bit of play, and then he played a ball inside that West Ham managed to get back. I don't know if the fact that the pass wasn't to a teammate was because he was sore at that point, but he managed to get from the left wing to the middle of the pitch, which is where he is now, Sandro Tonali. 35 minutes on the clock on the scoreboard at either end. Scoreboards at either end at West Ham.
Seats,
And it's West Ham United 0, Newcastle United 0. They have Lewis Miley and Sean Longstaff and Joe Willock on the bench. Sandro Tonali's on his feet. Jogs over to the near side with the physio. Hopefully he'll be okay. Whatever the result is tonight, and Newcastle want it to be positive, they want to win. Can't have any more injuries.
No.
Or suspensions,
No.
or any player and availability for next week beyond what's known. Got 10 men at the moment because Tonali has to go off for 30 seconds. West Ham from halfway, Todibo, diagonal ball, Trippier header, and Bruno in midfield. Nice turn. And then another, oh, that's lovely from Bruno. He's got away from Souček. Silky skills from Brazilian Bruno, and Barnes for Livramento. Gets it back again, just outside the penalty area. Bruno started that move with great play. Back to Joelinton. Tonali's on again, 11 v 11. 0-0. Trippier. West Ham, everybody behind the ball, and now it's with Cher and Newcastle. Burn in possession. Barnes has got space. Up the line it goes to Harvey Barnes. Chance to receive it and turn and face the goal, which he does. Comes inside and goes back outside. Laid off to Tonali. Barnes again. Could run at Wan-Bissaka here. Doesn't. And into the centre
slow,
to Cher.
isn't it?
Trippier always has the space. Bruno in the middle, made a good run, unchecked from midfield. Joelinton shot from 18 yards on the angle, and
you can tell.
yeah, that's into the beer garden in the middle of the stand behind the goal. It went that high. If you missed us talking about it earlier, the layout and the design of the London Stadium, beneath the scoreboard behind the goal to the left, there is an area that just resembles a beer garden. It's got tables, and there's a bar area at the back.
It's got trees and everything in it.
And fans can congregate there, but not during the match, obviously. Foul by who else but Joelinton in midfield. He's come off worse. He's sitting down. I think he wants the referee to help him up, which Michael Salisbury does. He obliges. No yellow card. That's 3 or 4 now. And it's the persistent fouling that could be the issue. Eddie Howe's gone to speak to the 4th official. Meanwhile, 38th minute. Hope we didn't cancel any plans tonight to follow this match. It hasn't been particularly exciting, but they haven't done too badly. They've been the better team, Newcastle. Defending here. Pope comes, makes a good claim at the edge of the box from a ball that was hung up that he was favourite for, but still had to get there around a group of players from both teams. Out to the right, Trippier to Bruno, under pressure. Back towards Cher. He's got to prevent the corner. Does. And then gives it the hammer. No pun intended. Long. Up to halfway. It's gone out, but at least it didn't go behind for a corner kick. How would you characterise their performance so far, Newcastle? I know you haven't really enjoyed the game, but
they've been the better side. There's no doubt about it. We've been the better side.
They're on the attack now. Joelinton leading the charge. Livramento to the left. Joelinton plays him in. Livramento 10 yards out. Tonali takes it into the box from the ball played back to him. Then Livramento in the corner. And it's a move that's slowed down and it's allowed West Ham to get set defensively and get everybody behind the ball. Byrne then plays it forward to Tonali. Bruno makes a run to come and get it. Drops it off to Barnes. Comes wide to Tonali. Up the line to Livramento. First time back to Tonali. Will he stick it in there? No. This is Bruno. Away from Kudus. Referee says no foul. And Wan-Bissaka, despite Bruno going down and appealing, in the corner with the West Ham clearance. Bowen caught there first, but it's out of his touch. And now there's a West Ham player who needs treatment. Thomas Souček, the tall Czech midfielder.
You can hear a pin drop in here, couldn't you?
I mean, we need to turn that microphone back on that went off when we did. But even with that, as Souček receives treatment 0-0, we have a microphone each. We have a third one to pick up the crowd noise. And if you switch it off, obviously it's quieter. You put it on, you can hear a bit more. That's That's it turned up fully. Turned up to the very top level, and there's not a lot of noise here. It's just a flat night, but Newcastle could make something happen before half-time. Livramento and Isak. Brilliant from Isak. Poise, skill, and the ability to play a pass under pressure. They have a throw. It's 25 to 30 yards back from Areola's goal. The keeper is on his 6-yard line. Livramento looking for movement. Joelinton is the ball back to the full-back, and now Byrne takes it inside. It's Fabian Schär. Up into space. Bruno can't get there. Cresswell does for West Ham, slides in, and it's a clearance with a lot of distance on it. Pope out of the box. Oh, a slip on the far side from Edson Alvarez helped Nick Pope bring the ball away into space, having been under pressure, and it's safely with Livramento. Head down, up to halfway, now in West Ham territory. Joelinton with Bowen at his back through for Livramento. Isak in the centre, Murphy far post, Livramento's ball to Barnes. Looking for room for the shot maybe, he's found Murphy. Big block, Cresswell. Murphy lining one up, hit it well, but blocked before it could reach the goal. And Kudus, it's a strong run to halfway. Tonali has to stick it out.
Yeah, just so much room, just getting so much room in midfield. West Ham midfield players just not getting close.
West Ham 0, Newcastle United 0. If it's a draw, Newcastle will move up the Premier League table. Again, win would take them 6th, which would be level with Manchester City, who are 5th. City ahead on goal difference. They would go from 9th to 7th, above Bournemouth by a point, and ahead of Aston Villa on goal difference. Villa negative goal difference, but still very much in the race for Europe. Trippier back to Pope, takes a touch, back pedals, and from the 6-yard line, long ball to halfway. Joelinton can't get there. West Ham through Ward-Prowse, bring it down under control. Isak is chasing, sprinting between West Ham players and passes, but the home side keep possession, and they've worked that pretty well, but they have it at the edge of their defensive third, and then give it to the goalkeeper. Isak still running. Areola forwards, headed on. Now Kudus, edge of the area, Trippier with him. Kudus tries to turn Trippier, good defending. The block on the follow-up from Newcastle. Dan Byrne stopping the shot from Bowen, and United into midfield. Bruno to Joelinton, up the line towards Isak, who's offside.
Didn't want to go on his right side, did he, Kudus? Wanted to check back on his left, and the opportunity is gone.
West Ham, ball in play after the offside. Alvarez to Ward-Prowse, next to the centre circle, space to the left. Scarles, lots of room, takes his time over the pass, which is back to Ward-Prowse, now up to Kudus at an angle. 25 yards out, back to Ward-Prowse, switching the play. That's given West Ham a lift in the final moments of this first half. Then a cross comes in, which Dan Byrne heads away. Newcastle get the defensive line up to the middle of the half. No goals yet. Cresswell from the centre circle back to the goalkeeper. Areola, long. Trippier read that and did well. Bruno, energetic play up the right. Then the pass, Murphy chasing. Kilman comes across, plays it short, then it comes inside to Ward-Prowse, who has to go back to Kilman. Joelinton making it difficult for him to get out of a tight spot. Ward-Prowse then into the penalty area. Cresswell's got it, Isak right on top of him. Joelinton now with a touch on the far side. Newcastle win it back from West Ham. Joelinton tried to win a corner. It's kept in by Cresswell, who's passed it out of play next to the assistant on the far side, close to the corner. And Newcastle forcing a West Ham error with 30 seconds of the opening 45 remaining, plus additional time. 0-0.
It's a few times Cresswell's done that, just gives it away.
Murphy on that far side has run out of space. It's West Ham's ball. Ben Toner, the fourth official. What does he have for us? What do you think?
Not long, I hope.
A minimum of 2 additional minutes displayed to the crowd at the London Stadium, and they'll turn their backs on him and go inside. Well, I don't think anybody's felt particularly entertained in the first half, but it could still be a big night for Newcastle United. It remains an important match, even if it hasn't had the entertainment value and the excitement that sometimes games here have. 2-2 last season. Oh, now a situation in the middle of the park. Edson Alvarez and Bruno, and Joelinton goes to square up to Alvarez and has to be separated by Fabian Schär and Jean-Claire Todibo. Didn't see the initial incident, but saw Bruno on the floor and Alvarez run away. Michael Salisbury,
he likes
the
to be
referee,
sent off, this kid, doesn't he?
might
He's had a few sendings off.
need to have a word with a couple of players. Don't know if VAR needs to get involved. We didn't see it, and we haven't watched a replay, but the referee is talking to Bruno and to Alvarez. Bruno shaking his head. And we still haven't seen it again. And it looks like we're not going to, because the referee sends them both away. And it looks like Alvarez, after they went up for a header, they collided. Then there was some words, and Alvarez gave him a little shove, and Bruno hit the deck.
Yeah.
Bruno then with a challenge, winning the ball back, finding Barnes. West Ham trying to win possession in the centre circle. Bruno has been fouled, gets a free kick. Wanted to go quickly. Referee can hear the whistle telling him not to. And it's just blown up for half-time, so Newcastle don't get to play the ball forwards. Ready to begin. Pope, Trippier, Schär, Byrne, Livramento, Bruno, Tonali, Joelinton, Murphy, Isak, Barnes. Newcastle in white and green go back. Schär goes long, header from Joelinton, then Isak heads it back out wide left, but there's nobody there. It's gone for a throw. 10 seconds of the second half has been played. West Ham, Areola, Todibo, Kilman, Cresswell, wing backs Wan-Bissaka and Scarles, Souček, Ward-Prowse, Alvarez in midfield, Bowen and Kudus. Newcastle shooting to the right, and the away fans are close to that goal. They are in the end behind the goal, but not directly behind the net. Todibo on halfway, back to Maximilian Kilman. Then he plays it back at an angle. Cresswell is there. Areola, long driven ball. Dan Byrne gets up and heads it backwards away from Bowen. Livramento up the line, Barnes with control, and then a challenge comes in. It's going to be a Newcastle throw in almost in West Ham territory, but they take it from behind the halfway line. Livramento to Byrne, swept across to Schär. Trippier then up the line to Murphy, closed down by Cresswell. Murphy carries it inside. That's a good ball. Livramento in central midfield position. Barnes wants it played in. Harvey Barnes gets it, stays on side, into the box. Barnes on the outside. Tackle from Wan-Bissaka. Edge of the area, Joelinton laid off to Sandro Tonali. Can't find room for the shot. Trippier rolls it forwards. It's intercepted by Scarles, who releases Kudus. Furthest West Ham player forward. Kudus cuts inside and gives it to Alvarez. Edson Alvarez making progress from midfield. Newcastle make a challenge. Nick Pope picks it up.
Didn't know where he was going, did he? I'm amazed Kudus checked back, because he would have had the legs of Kieran Trippier, but he kept going.
And Barnes, when played in, probably would have wanted to cut in on his right. Had to go outside, didn't he?
Yeah, tried to play it in, then with his left foot, got a block on it.
48th minute on BBC Radio Newcastle. Also on the Newcastle United website and app. Schär into midfield, stopped by Alvarez, away by Byrne, won back by the Hammers. It's the teenager Scarles. Gets it from Kudus, gives it back to him. Mohamed Kudus on the outside, away from Schär. Hangs up across to the back post. Livramento with the header. Barnes edge of the area, trying to get Newcastle away from their own goal, but has been beaten to the ball. Ward-Prowse and Alvarez now. Cresswell curling ball in. Dan Burn header away. Barnes then with a header on. Todibo cushioned pass to Wan-Bissaka, foot on the ball. Alvarez right corner of the area, gets away from Tonali. Danger not clear. It's Bowen trying to wriggle through. Oh, Kudus goes down under a challenge from Cher. Referee says no, as West Ham fans appeal and players now look to Michael Salisbury. Newcastle clear it into the West Ham half, and it's gone out.
It's not a penalty.
And the referee allows the game to continue. We play on 0-0. As with most things that happen on the pitch, the commentary position at London Stadium, the massive, wide open ground, is a long way from the action, but West Ham felt they had a shout. Here go Newcastle. Bruno, good ball up to Isak. What a first touch. Isak drops his shoulder. God, can't get Barnes in. Went to thread the ball through, and it was stopped at the edge of the box, but his touch in the build-up was sublime. Joelinton in line with the area, wide on the left, return ball to him from Tonali, still with Joelinton, whips over across. Murphy couldn't get there, it was too close to the goal. Murphy made an attempt but was beaten by the pace on the ball. We're seeing a rerun of the Cher on Kudus situation.
Yeah.
Just tell us exactly what you've seen and why.
It's a coming together. That's all it is.
And he's got the ball first.
It's just a coming together. Never in the world is that a penalty.
Cher's header forwards, bounces once. West Ham get a throw. Cresswell to knock it up the line. Murphy deflected it out. And they're told to get back to halfway. Cresswell to Kilman, inside to Areola. He's 10 yards ahead of the penalty box. Aims it towards Souček on the left wing. Bowen has then got space and the chance to run into the area. Onto his left, Jared Bowen. Big block. Big Dan Burn. Cresswell in the centre. Some fans wanted him to shoot. He went for the through ball, but it was overhit.
Good block, Dan Burn. Doesn't want to get isolated too much with him. Bowen came inside, dropped the shoulder, came inside, got a big block on it.
A win would take West Ham up to 13th. They go above Everton, Man United and Spurs. They have the chance now with Kudus. Burn trying to stay with him, shoulder to shoulder. Kudus with the cross, and there was nobody in position to apply a touch for West Ham, who keep it in on the far side. 0-0. Ward-Prowse to Bowen and back to Todibo. Ward-Prowse right side of midfield, short pass inside to Alvarez. Then out on the touchline, Wan-Bissaka. Newcastle not applying the squeeze at the moment. Isak goes to close down Kilman, rolled along the centre circle to Todibo. Ward-Prowse gets it, looking to create. Gives it to Wan-Bissaka, gets it back again. Nice move on the far side. And Bowen into the corner, wins a corner kick. The block from Livramento.
Good defending, good tracking. He stayed with Bowen, he played the 1-2, but didn't get distracted by it.
Kudus got in because Burn chested down a ball forwards, then stabbed it against the West Ham attacker.
Souček just didn't have the pace to get in there.
Bowen was a bit too far back to try to throw himself at the cross, which was into the perfect area for an attacking player, but there was nobody
Somebody
there.
coming in, back stick, rolls it into an empty net, don't they?
53 played. West Ham corner, left-footed from the far right-hand side. Plenty of whip on it, headed across the box, and Kudus couldn't get there. Kept alive by Scarles, clipped in, Newcastle header away, Isak dispossessed, Alvarez. Isak couldn't clear and couldn't run out of the box because he was challenged by Alvarez, who plays it out to the left, and Scarles and Ward-Prowse, and now Alvarez again in possession. It's with Kudus, drops his shoulder, Trippier blocks the cross, another corner. Probably the only sustained bit of pressure from West Ham on Newcastle all night.
Is it my imagination, or have some people gone home?
I think it takes so long to get back to your seat from the concourse areas that there are a lot of late arrivals. Almost 9 minutes gone in the second half, still goalless. Another corner. Ward-Prowse on the near side. It's his left arm in the air, delivers with his right, it's driven to the back of the box. Kudus is free into the 6-yard box, and Newcastle smash it clear through Trippier. Kudus all alone at the back of the penalty box, and he directed it towards goal. Joelinton is down, and he's holding the toes on his right foot. Looks like it was an impact problem, and now he's back up without the need for the physio. But Mohamed Kudus might feel as though he could have given West Ham the lead there. I'm not sure whether it was a shot with a lot of conviction or whether it was just played back into the middle.
I think it was just played back into the middle. I mean, the angle was tight. He's just drilled it back in.
Newcastle have the ball. Sandro Tonali very tight on that far side of the pitch. Challenge comes in, they get a free kick. Joelinton fouled by Souček, who scored at St James's in November, scored in this fixture last season, put West Ham in front in the 2-2 draw. A player that has enjoyed playing against Newcastle for West Ham. Newcastle have got one of those the other way, Callum Wilson, who's on the bench but is warming up as we speak. Cher, back to Pope, who was at the edge of the penalty box, and the ball was played into the middle of the area. Pope sends it up the pitch, out for a throw to West Ham. Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall with outstretched arms look to that part of the field and might well be asking what was going on there.
Just doesn't look comfortable when it gets played back to him, does he?
Pope brought back in tonight in place of Martin Dubravka from the team that started against Brighton. Bruno and Murphy for Miley and Gordon with the other changes. Cher has the ball, having a look up. Tonali's moved up to the forward line, then drops back in. Ball from Trippier to Bruno, takes it away, trying to release Isak, but Cresswell stood firm, defended it. And Scarles now to Kudus. Nicely taken, and moved well with the ball. Kudus, Ward-Prowse, lifted over to Wan-Bissaka, down on his chest, halfway line. Jared Bowen, 8 goals this season for Bowen. Missed 5 weeks with a foot injury, so only came back recently, back to the team last month. Kilman, chased down by Isak. Murphy then out to Cresswell. Cher with the header. Kudus next to him. Trippier on to Bruno. It went through Bruno's legs, and Souček nudges it back to Ward-Prowse. West Ham definitely more energy and a bit more invention from the home team. Still goalless. Ward-Prowse on the diagonal. Scarles helped on to Kudus. Ball sticks to him, doesn't it, Mohamed Kudus? Excellent close control. Cresswell to Alvarez. Ward-Prowse 30 yards out, left side. Scarles to Kudus. Tried to slip it through. Trippier makes a block. Kudus gets it back. Cresswell to Alvarez. Wan-Bissaka ready to make a run inside, given away to Tonali. Newcastle can go. Sandro Tonali with Isak to the right, Barnes to the left, plays it to Harvey Barnes, taking on Todibo. Barnes challenged, great challenge, and Todibo races after his own touch from that tackle and is into the Newcastle half. Then gives it away to Joelinton.
Dear, oh dear.
Bruno, Isak gets back and gets back onside. That's a real disappointment because they had a good opening there, and Barnes tried to take on the defender who was more than equal to it. 59th minute, Joelinton 10 yards outside the box, Bruno in the centre. It comes to the right wing to Trippier. It's really tight. Trippier has to go back to Tonali. There was no ball through into the penalty area. Dan Burn to Harvey Barnes, Livramento there as well. Barnes shifts it, comes inside to Tonali now, then Bruno to Isak. Isak being eased off it by Kilman, but he kept possession. Murphy with the ball towards Trippier that was too close to the defender. It's put out for a Newcastle throw about 20 yards from the West Ham goal.
West Ham need to make a change in midfield because Alvarez just keeps giving the ball away. He's a liability in there.
Trippier with the ball. Bruno gives it back to him, first time. Tonali with a bit of space, takes it on. Now Murphy wins a corner. The away fans go wild. They greet the corner with huge enthusiasm. There's not been a lot of action at that end in the second half. We're in the 60th minute. And they watch on as Dan Burn and Fabian Schär make their way into the box. Everybody back for West Ham. Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall have a word. Trippier to take the corner kick. Tonali's coming over towards this near side. I wonder if he could get it short. Trippier drives it to the back of the box. Burns header up. Areola. Nobody challenging. Goalkeeper gathers.
Easy take, wasn't it? This time the corner kick went deep.
The Burn header back across worked earlier, didn't it, for the Barnes chance? But on that occasion it didn't. No, straight at the goalkeeper. Wilson comes back to the bench, takes his seat. Miley had been warming up too. He's also sitting down again. Joelinton at right back here, tidying up. Inside to Tonali, lifted across to the far side of the pitch. And Schär, Bruno. There is space for Newcastle, isn't there? Still,
loads of space.
Murphy with a run in behind, the ball from Bruno. Murphy gets there, flag stays down. Murphy's cross, it's all, what a save! And then Isak following up, it's gone over, and the ball didn't cross the line. So nearly an own goal, but an incredible one-handed save from Areola to keep it out.
That's an incredible save. It's an unbelievable save. Means a ball over the top. I think Murphy was offside, wasn't he?
No, he's level. Todibo played him on. Oh, we've just seen that again. Murphy cut it back, Ando, towards the penalty spot, and it was Kilman. And then Areola on the line with his hand.
Great reaction, wasn't it?
And it's almost underneath the bar, and Isak, the way it's dropping, Isak's trying to flick it in off his heel with his leg outstretched to the side of his body, but couldn't keep it down. Could have had Newcastle ahead. Pope comes and gathers a ball forwards, edge of the box, drops it out quickly to Livramento. That's good from the goalkeeper. 62 played. Newcastle almost in front through an own goal, looking to go and attack again. Bruno. West Ham bodies back. Tonali here on the stretch, finds Livramento, and now Harvey Barnes. Slowed right down the game. And this is where they find it harder. This is where they've got to be clever and so precise. share. Bruno making a run, Murphy gets it, drops his shoulder, edge of the area, good ball back to Tonali, whipped over to Barnes on his right. Barnes goes for the low shot, blocked, has come back to him, chips it in, it's there, they've scored, it's Bruno with the all-important touch from the ball lifted into the middle, and the Newcastle United captain scores at the London Stadium. He's come in for criticism recently. He's just delivered a big goal. 63 minutes played, West Ham United 0, Newcastle United 1.
Lovely little ball lifted in, and he just gets it head of the defender. He just toe pokes it past the keeper. On this occasion, keeper's got no chance.
There are some West Ham complaints. I don't know how closely VAR is going to look at this, but the referee is being pursued by players in claret and blue. You'd assume offside is what they're calling for. Barnes blocked the first time.
No,
Bruno gets back on side. Scarles playing him on the near side of the pitch. Bruno about 6 yards out, stabs it beyond Areola, who just made a world-class save to prevent an own goal, but he couldn't keep out Bruno's little stabbed effort towards the goal. There's the confirmation from referee Michael Salisbury that the goal stands. West Ham are going to make a triple change as they try to respond. Newcastle 1-0 up.
Game needed a goal, didn't it? Definitely needed a goal. It hasn't been a classic by a long chalk.
Bruno's third of the season. Here are the West Ham changes. Edson Alvarez is going off. Coming on is Carlos Soler, who's on loan from Paris Saint-Germain. He was an unused substitute twice last season in Newcastle's Champions League encounters with PSG. They are also taking off Jean-Claire Todibo, and goal scorer Bruno is going to face his mate, his close friend Lucas Paquetá, just back from injury, and Thomas Souček is off, and he's always a goal threat against Newcastle. And West Ham have brought on Konstantinos Mavropanos, the Greek international, to play at centre-back. And I think they've gone to a back four. It's Areola, Wan-Bissaka, Kilman and Cresswell. That's how they were lining up there. Scarles can play further forwards, but it might still be a back five. We'll see if they change the system when things settle down. But Isak, adjudged to have pushed his man. Free kick West Ham inside the Newcastle half. Noise coming from the away fans. They needed a goal. Game needed a goal.
Oh, game needed a goal. Didn't matter who it came from. It most definitely needed a goal because it was just drifting, wasn't it?
And Bruno Guimaraes got it. They win. They go back up to 6th in the table. West Ham with their substitutions. Ward-Prowse, curling free kick, headed on. Newcastle header, it's gone backwards off a United player. Byrne with a clearance into the middle of the half. Scarles to Ward-Prowse, back it goes to Scarles, where's squad number 57. And Cresswell to Areola. Long ball into the Newcastle half. Lucas Paquetá header down. Wan-Bissaka just touches it back to Alvarez. Soler takes it on, pursued by Tonali. Out to the right to Bowen. Jared Bowen attempted to break into the box. Dan Burn made a challenge. Joe Linton then with another tackle. Long from Tonali. Isak beaten in the air by Kilman. Does have the height advantage. Offside on the near side against Kudus. 68th minute, West Ham 0, Newcastle 1. It's going to be another West Ham change.
Ferguson's coming on.
Evan Ferguson, 20-year-old, on loan from Brighton. Makes makes his way just the tarmac towards the technical area. Graham Potter puts his arm around him. Harvey Barnes with the assist, and Bruno Guimaraes with the finish for Newcastle's goal. Might have been some appeals about a push.
Yeah, I think that's what they were appealing for.
Was it Bruno with the push or someone in the middle?
It was Isak.
West Ham risky ball across the back and then given to the goalkeeper with Barnes on the chase. Newcastle win a free kick. Joe Linton was fouled next to the halfway line. There's a bit of movement on the United bench. The Newcastle United bench, that is, as West Ham take off defender Aaron Cresswell for striker Evan Ferguson. So they have gone to a back four now. It's a 4-3-3. Bowen on the right, Kudus left, Ferguson in the middle. Joe Willock is the only Newcastle player warming up in green and white with a luminous yellow bib. Kieran Trippier next to the centre spot with the free kick. Past the midway point in the second half, they have the lead. Trippier into the area, too high for Byrne. Bruno brings it down, then back towards Trippier. Safe ball is back to the goalkeeper, that's where it goes. Alvarez putting the pressure on, long from Pope. Byrne had stayed up there, tries to head it on, beaten by Kilman. Murphy and then Byrne make a challenge. Trippier's got it here, up the line to Murphy, tackled by Scarles, and Ward-Prowse in the middle. Newcastle couldn't keep hold of it there, and it's allowed West Ham to play their way across midfield. Lucas Paquetá back to Maximilian Kilman, Edson Alvarez, and it's worked well. Ward-Prowse to Alvarez, and Bowen on the touchline. Back it goes to Alvarez, chipped into the box. Bowen takes a tumble. Referee says no. West Ham players run to Michael Salisbury. Bruno Guimaraes wags his finger and shakes his head. Newcastle play on. Livramento on the charge up to Isak. West Ham want VAR to get involved and give them a penalty. They've got a free kick in midfield. Isak with a foul. Bruno still saying his bit towards West Ham players and the referee. Paquetá had the chip. Bruno went shoulder to shoulder with Bowen. And then what happened? Leant in, shoulder there, shoulder to shoulder. Did he foul him?
No. It's just the coming together.
Didn't see a replay of where their legs were. I don't know if there was a tangle of legs as well. Leant in a bit, but they were close. There was contact. VAR have checked it. We're playing again, and West Ham through Kudus, edge of the final third. Now Scarles to Ward-Prowse. Newcastle have a 1-0 lead. Bruno in the thick of the action, scoring the goal. Penalty shout there. There's an incident with Alvarez in the first half. Bowen. He was unlucky because the first touch in a tight spot was really good, but it went out for a throw in the corner on the left, and Nick Pope is sitting down in the penalty box. Fabian Schär is with him. Referee's gone across. Newcastle send on the physio. Of course, you can't take the goalkeeper off for 30 seconds. I know we've seen this before, but you'd hope it's not a genuine injury. It's enabled a lot of players to come across to the side of the pitch, pick up a water bottle and talk to Eddie Howe. Bruno, Harvey Barnes, Joe Linton, Alexander Isak. 72 minutes played. Martin Dubravka is warming up. Nick Pope being checked on. How well placed are they to win this match?
They've been the better side. There's no doubt about it. They've given themselves a great opportunity to win it. West Ham haven't shown anything at all. I'd love to know when he picked up that injury.
Well, there's communication between the physio and the bench. Martin Dubravka jogging along the touchline. Callum Wilson back out there. Wilson's got his tracksuit bottoms on. Joe Willock, who'd been warming up, is in his shorts. Don't know if that indicates that Willock's closer to coming on than Wilson, if they are going to make a change. All we've seen is a replay of the Bruno on Bowen challenge, and they're looking at whether maybe Pope hurt himself as he came to claim the ball after that. Match has restarted. West Ham 0, Newcastle 1. And Nick Pope continues in goal. Dan Burn slams a clearance against Evan Ferguson, and it's a goal kick. Bruno's goal on 63 minutes. Looking for a 7th away win in the league this season. Pope seems all right. What are you laughing?
You say that with surprise in your mouth.
I'm just playing it straight. That's my job.
Of course you are.
I'm glad he's okay. There's a cup final on Sunday.
Yeah.
He missed the last one. Halfway line, West Ham carry it forwards. It's Alvarez. Bowen links up a couple of passes between him and Wan-Bissaka. Ward-Prowse now to Alvarez. Carlos Soler forwards. Bowen's got space between Newcastle midfield and defence. Jared Bowen took it on. Dan Burn with a block. Isak, superb. The first touch, and now the speed to get away up the left wing. They've got 2 on him. He's pushed one of them over. It takes 2 to stop him. Isak, what a touch. Sometimes it's a thankless task. He was up there all on his own.
Yeah, his movement's just so good.
And there's nobody like him. And they might want to give him a bit of a break, but he seems okay and has moved really well tonight, despite rumours of injury and obviously missing the Liverpool match. Bowen with a cross from the right for West Ham. Scarles tried to keep it alive. I think the ball might have been out when he got there, and it's onto the roof of the net anyway. In the 76th minute, Newcastle still lead by a goal to 0. It was still in when Scarles, but he was at full stretch. Connected. Here comes Callum Wilson. Probably not a player West Ham want to see. He scores goals here. He got 2 in the 5-1 win a couple of seasons ago. His first Newcastle goal in 2020, behind closed doors, came here. Scored against them at St James's Park. 12 in 15 in the Premier League, including goals for Bournemouth. Jason Tindall takes him through. Tactical information as Kieran Trippier takes a throw onto the chest of Joel Linton. Jacob Murphy, could that be a good ball for Barnes? It's just headed away by Wan-Bissaka, but Livramento's onto it. They're in the final third now. Barnes takes it on. Livramento on the outside. Barnes cuts in. Still got it. Back to Murphy. He's not really got anywhere to go, Murphy. 3 West Ham players around him. Trippier forwards to Bruno on his chest out to the touchline. Bruno with a back heel. It's gone behind for a goal kick, but difficult to see what else he could do with that. Joe Willock is going to be introduced as well by Eddie Howe. Couple of late changes. Areola to this near side. Trippier backing into Kudus, heads it away. Forwards but out. Scarles with a quick throw. Here's Kilman. He's got Alvarez alongside him at centre back now. Lucas Paquetá drops in. Back to Kilman. Alvarez to the right of the centre circle. both meetings this season have been Monday night affairs. West Ham's 2-0 win at St James's in November. And tonight, not ideal for either set of travelling supporters. West Ham won on Tyneside, Newcastle winning here, 78 minutes on the clock. 1-0 the score. Bruno, this man, got the goal, and he has been fouled just as he started to make a forward move in the West Ham half. Harvey Barnes replaced by Joe Willock in the first of the two changes, and Callum Wilson comes on for Alexander Isak. 12 minutes to play, and Isak gets a rest. Has Barnes done enough to secure his spot in the team at Wembley?
He's had his moments, hasn't he? Had his moments tonight. They'll be glad to see the back of Isak as well.
Barnes, 2 big chances in the first half, 2 good saves. I'd say big chances, they were probably the best chances in the first 45 for either team, and he did chip the ball in for the goal for Bruno after his first shot was blocked, so a significant contribution there.
Yeah, I mean, look at he hasn't played a great deal of football.
Share with a left-footed ball out to the right wing towards Murphy, headed away by West Ham. Trippier's got it, then inside from Murphy to Bruno, put out for a Newcastle throw. Callum Wilson, always hungry for goals. He's only scored once. Limited football, obviously, this season because of injury. Goal came at Birmingham in the FA Cup. Here's Murphy trying to get away. Does, cuts it back, but it's a West Ham player there near the 6-yard line to swing it clear. Wilson would have been desperate to get on the end of that. Throw. It's going to be taken just about in line with the penalty box. Trippier gets it back from Murphy, comes inside, dispossessed. Kudus away from Tonali, holding on to him, free kick. West Ham roll it inside to Carlos Soler, the Spanish international midfielder. Alvarez to the halfway line, bursts between players, dispossessed by Newcastle's Joe Willock. Now Wilson. Wilson's ball inside, diverted away by West Ham. Willock tries to win it back, Wilson does, and Wilson wins a throw. It was a bit untidy that, but Newcastle come out of it okay. Wilson apologises for the earlier ball that he played, but he made amends. Trippier, they've switched it from left to right. Flat ball into the box. Ward-Prowse away. Tonali and Trippier can't stop Kudus, who's now into the Newcastle half. Protected the ball and then played it to Scarles. Turns back inside. Lucas Paquetá floated to the far side of the penalty box. It's too strong. Wan-Bissaka trying to keep it alive. Does as it reaches the corner. Soler with a flick from Wan-Bissaka's cross. Newcastle could break, and Wilson has got Willock to the left. It's a 2-on-2. Wilson to Willock, now to run into the final third. Joe Willock, West Ham get more bodies back. Willock edge of the area, brings it back to Bruno. Murphy on the right, and they've slowed it down, Newcastle, but they're still in a good position. Murphy on the outside of his man. Murphy's cross blocked just as they try to get Wilson in the middle. Back to Murphy, beats his man a second time. That's gone out for a corner though. Surely, is it a corner or is it a goal kick? Yeah, it's a corner. Murphy had the touch and it deflected off the defender. The ball went out just. He kept it going by chipping in the cross. The flag went up for it being out, but it's out for a corner.
A lot of confusion going on in there.
And prior to that, Wilson and Willock led the Newcastle charge towards the West Ham goal in what was a 2-on-2 until defending players got back quickly. Trippier's corner in the 83rd minute. Driven into the centre of the box, flicked on by a Newcastle player, shared back over, and that's stayed in. Trippier on the near side, delivers another cross, flicked away just in front of Wilson. Livramento to Murphy, 1-0 Newcastle. Murphy's ball in, Dan Burn header down, but the goalkeeper gets that.
Nobody wants it.
Danny Ings is going to come on for West Ham. There's a foul by Dan Burn on his way back. Referee would like a word.
Hard.
Dan Burn is booked. Midfielder James Ward-Prowse replaced. He was in the Nottingham Forest team that lost to Newcastle in November in the league. He might be in the West Ham team that's beaten by United tonight. Burn late on Scarles, who took the full
just
force.
saying to the referee, I got there as quick as I could.
Newcastle still in front by a 1-0, heading back up to 6th in the table. In behind from West Ham, Trippier and Pope trying to deal with it. Nick Pope diving header away. Well, it was brilliant in the end from the goalkeeper, and it had to be spot on. Joelinton from Murphy's pass takes a touch, spins, plays it away to the far side to Livramento. They've worked this nicely. Joelinton now to Livramento in the corner. West Ham through Wan-Bissaka, slide it away and out for a throw next to the corner flag. Good play by Newcastle, under pressure from the back up to the attacking third, high up the pitch, and Pope, we made the right decision there to head it away.
Heart in the mouth time, wasn't it? He started to come, then he stopped, then he came again.
It's into the penalty area. Wan-Bissaka got the touch, it went across the 6-yard box. Scarles clears, Burn wins it, and there's a foul by big Dan Burn, who gets back into position as quickly as he can, gets away from the referee. Yellow carded. It's the only booking that has been shown tonight. 5 minutes of normal time remaining. Some West Ham fans are leaving.
Some didn't come back at half time.
I know you thought about that. You didn't enjoy the first half. Newcastle have got the goal in the second half, the only goal. Bruno, 63rd minute. Here's a run from West Ham. Ings into the box, away by United. Murphy tried to help it on. Scarles has got it. Back to halfway. Kilman was linked to Newcastle before he made his move to West Ham. Looks solid.
He's done well tonight. He's played well tonight.
United just standing off a couple of yards away from the ball, making West Ham decide what to do rather than rushing them into it. It's played across halfway and back again, and Kilman with it left of centre. Kudus still looking lively and dangerous. Comes in 5 yards from the left wing. Kilman back out to the touchline to Scarles, 20 yards from Nick Pope's goal. You listen to BBC Radio Newcastle. We'll be with you tonight till 10:30 to discuss the match. Shando will be around with Simon Pride in the studio. Here's Scarles. It's a Newcastle foot on the ball, and Murphy with a clearance. Wilson wanted it played to him so he could hold it. Murphy went long, and Areola leaves his box to come out to the left back position, bring it into a more central spot, and Alvarez receives it from the goalkeeper towards the centre circle, inside to Soler. Okay, Sarr, we're going to Wembley, sing the Newcastle fans as West Ham through Scarles look for Kudus. Trippier, good defending. Murphy has to be quick, and it's a foul on Bruno. After Murphy released it, Bruno was bundled over by Soler. Bruno's rolling around all over the place. 2 trips to London in less than a week for some of the Newcastle fans, the first of which has 3 minutes remaining in the 90, and they lead still by a 1-0. Sean Longstaff is about to be brought on by Eddie Howe. Bruno's third of the season, and it's Bruno who is coming off. The referee is telling him, because he had his back to the numbers board, Kieran Trippier receives the armband from the captain, gives him a pat on the chest. Bruno applauds the Newcastle fans to his left on his way off, and Longstaff on to try to help them get across the line and get a big 3 points and receive a big boost ahead of the League Cup final. Pope with the free kick following the foul on Bruno. Backwards header from West Ham, and Wilson's got it. The player might have hurt himself. It's gone for a Newcastle throw next to the corner, and not like a nasty fall, but I think it's cramp on Scarles. Murphy and Trippier are helping him out here, stretching his left calf or left hamstring. The youngsters back up. Jason Tindall is having a word with Fabian Schär. Jason Tindall's almost in the West Ham technical area and is sent back by the fourth official. Trippier with the Newcastle throw, just over a minute of normal time to play, 1-0 up. To lob it over the head of a defender towards Murphy, volleyed away by West Ham. Dan Burn nods it forwards, on by Alvarez. Trippier is there to push it over to the far side. Willock with a touch, it's got away from him, and Wan-Bissaka for West Ham on the outside of Willock, and then a foul committed by Joelinton. And what's the referee going to do here? Will Joelinton avoid further punishment? Yes. One more yellow card in the Premier League means a 2-match ban automatically in the league. It won't affect it for Wembley, but it's given West Ham a free kick, Ando, 20 yards out, wide right.
Yeah, big boy's gone forward, they've loaded the box up.
Bowen's delivery headed up by a Newcastle player, and it's gone away from Pope and out for a corner near side. 10 seconds of normal time to play. West Ham 0, Newcastle 1. Eddie Howe applauds the defending from that free kick. They've now got to defend a corner kick. 6 minutes added to the match. The corner sent over. Pope gets a big hand to the ball, pushes it out and away into the middle of the half, far side of the field. Back to Areola, the goalkeeper long through the middle. Joelinton gets up, Livramento behind him has got it. Looked for Tonali, but West Ham get players there and regain control of the ball. Ings. Back to Wan-Bissaka. Kudus has now moved to the right side and he's away from his man. Kudus has crossed towards the back post. Trippier, important header, and it stayed in along the line, and Trippier's got there and cleared it, but only as far as Lucas Paquetá into the box. Big header from Byrne. Massive piece of defending. Joelinton now to Willock, who's kept it in on the far touchline. Inside to Wilson. Can they break? Longstaff. Good shift from Longstaff, but a pass that's intercepted.
Dear.
He moved it well, but then the pass was read and stopped by Scarles, who plays West Ham forwards. Then Longstaff intercepts, and now Murphy. Newcastle outnumbered, but on the attack, on the counter. Murphy across halfway towards the far side. Dispossessed, they had 2 on him. West Ham going forwards. Burns slides. Pope tries to gather it. Kudus on his chest, but it's gone behind. It took him wide of goal, wide of the box, and behind, fortunately for Newcastle. A chaotic couple of minutes, both teams having a go, but Newcastle survive and still lead 1-0 in added on time.
It's been so scrappy, it really has. There hasn't been a great deal of quality in the game.
Well, I thought they were going to get in when Longstaff just turned away to the right, aimed it towards Murphy, and West Ham intercepted. Neither team could really get into the position they wanted to. Wilson, referee says no foul. Wilson and Kilman competing for the ball. Some of the Newcastle fans felt Wilson was being held. Scarles dispossessed by Murphy. West Ham win it back through Kilman, and then Longstaff for Newcastle to Murphy. Wilson up, overhit, up towards Willock, but overhit. Wan-Bissaka back to the keeper. We are 2.5 minutes into the minimum of 6 that have been added on BBC Radio Newcastle. Bruno Guimaraes with the only goal. Lucas Paquetá plays it in between Newcastle midfield and defence. West Ham go on the outside with Bowen. Good defending, Livramento with a block. Joelinton then comes away with the ball. Bowen at his back. Joelinton turns, needs to get it away. He's done superbly well. Found Longstaff, who gets it back from Wilson, and Longstaff to Tonali, and Willock with the run through the middle, but the ball from Tonali was smashed forwards, and the goalkeeper was the only one there. They don't have a lot necessarily in terms of numbers. Willock doing most of the running, and it's coming back at them. Here's Scarles with the cross, blocked by Newcastle. Kudus with a shot blocked. Longstaff making a challenge, and then it's handball off Kudus. They get a free kick. 93.5 minutes on the clock. Michael Salisbury blows the whistle. More West Ham fans leave. Newcastle just a couple of minutes away from a big victory.
Yeah, important win. It's been hard work, no doubt about that. It hasn't been pretty.
Nick Pope with the ball on the floor. Referee says come on, and Pope about to send it up the pitch. Wilson on this near side gets in front of Scarles. Neither player got the header. Kilman left-footed. Ball up the pitch. Cher flicks it back. Dan Burn away. Big clearance. It's bouncing. Wilson just making life more difficult for Kilman, in addition to the bouncing ball, using his body. Alvarez behind him covering. Forwards to Soler, and now Alvarez into space on the right. Now into the Newcastle half. Driven crossfield ball, that's between Scarles and Kudus, and the Newcastle fans enjoyed that.
That's awful.
In fact, it was Mavropanos, wasn't it, rather than Alvarez. With the driven ball, beg your pardon. Newcastle throw towards Wilson. Joelinton trying to burst forwards, away by Mavropanos. Burns header, Longstaff on. Lucas Paquetá in possession. It's won a free kick. Tonali came away with the ball, and in the final minute of the minimum 6, Afonso Areola goes forwards. West Ham free kick, 35 yards out, left of centre. Newcastle, if they can survive this, then it might be job done. Referee's whistle blows. Lucas Paquetá lifts it in. Pope punches. He's off his line. West Ham try and get there. Oh, now the West Ham goal is clear. Murphy forwards, but it's intercepted on halfway. Couldn't find Willock. And now Kudus stopped by a sliding Trippier. That's it. They've won. They've won the first of 2 London trips this week. And Newcastle United secure a big Premier League victory against West Ham.